Today is May 23rd, 2022. My name is Rob Carr of Kalamazoo Right to Life, and this is Pro-Life Week. We have some interesting items in the news today. I suppose the biggest news item originates from San Francisco. Salvatore Cordileone, I'm not sure if that's pronounced correctly, but he is the Archbishop of San Francisco. And he issued a decision just over the weekend, or a few days ago, regarding Nancy Pelosi, our dearly beloved Speaker of the House. And because she is a pro-abortion ideologue, a die-hard pro-abortion zealot, and total disregard to the Catholic Church, of which she is supposedly a member, the Archbishop has said that she is no longer permitted to take communion. And he has instructed every Catholic priest in the Archdiocese to be on the alert, basically. If she comes into his church, she is not to receive, she is not permitted to present herself for communion. And for Catholics, that is a very big thing, not to be able to be prevented from taking communion. So, we'll see how this plays out on her end of the deal, because the Archbishop has said she basically has to do two things. She needs to repent, which I think goes without saying, and two, she has to publicly announce that she is no longer going to take that pro-abortion position, and she's going to follow the dictates of her church. So Nancy Pelosi has to really make a decision now. What is she going to do? Because from the church's point of view, her soul is at risk. There are grave consequences to be in opposition to what your church teaches. And I know in the past, people have been excommunicated for various reasons. And the Catholic Church, Christianity in general, has condemned abortion for centuries. And the Catholic Church has condemned abortion for almost 2,000 years. It is always considered an unspeakable crime to take the life of an unborn child. So for Nancy Pelosi to buck her church's position is a serious matter. And I'm really grateful for the Archbishop to take a strong stand and tell her, listen, lady, listen, if you want to be a Catholic, if you want to receive communion, you have got to accept the teachings of your church and announce that you're pro-life, basically. So I have real problems, not with the bishop's decision, but I have real problems thinking that his action is going to result in any kind of a Damascus Road conversion on her part. Let's face it, we have seen a lot of Catholic Democrats who at one time had been pro-life, but when presidential aspirations came calling, it seemed very convenient for them to abandon ship when it came to a pro-life conviction and embrace the pro-abortion mindset and the pro-abortion policies. They must have considered that there were more votes among the National Organization for Women folk, or the National Abortion Rights Action League folk, than there were faithful Catholic voters. So they read the liberal tea leaves, and they concluded that they could get far ahead politically by becoming pro-abortion, and which is tragically has happened for so many Catholic Democrats. So don't hold your breath on Pelosi coming to any kind of a change of heart in this matter. I also read the news that 5 more Planned Parenthood abortion clinics are going to close in Alaska, Idaho, Indiana, which is great news. This comes after news last week that clinics are going to close in Vermont and New Hampshire. like I said last week, it just follows the trend that more and more abortion clinics are closing for a variety of reasons. I also mentioned to you last week that the Michigan Court of Claims Judge Elizabeth Gleicher, not sure how that's correctly pronounced, but that's the way I'm pronouncing her name. She placed a temporary injunction on our 1846/1931 pro-life law that bans abortions throughout all 9 months of pregnancy. And the attorneys representing Right to Life in Michigan have filed a complaint with the Michigan Court of Appeals asking this higher court to take her off the case, basically, because she is a pro-abortion ideologue and she cannot be impartial. She has, in the past, she has given money to Planned Parenthood. And back in 1997, when she was just an attorney, she represented Planned Parenthood in a case regarding that 1846 law. So clearly this judge is not impartial. And Right to Life wants the Court of Appeals to take her off the case. So this case is far from over, and we will follow these developments as they progress. Last Wednesday, the Oklahoma legislature, praise God for Oklahoma, the Oklahoma legislature passed a bill that becomes the most restrictive pro-life law in the nation. We've looked at the Texas law, the heartbeat law, for 6 weeks. But this bill from Oklahoma would ban abortions throughout all pregnancy, basically from the moment of fertilization, which is as close to the beginning as you can get, of course. There are a few loopholes. Abortion would still be legal for the life of the mother and for the use of morning after pills and other emergency contraception, and for reasons of rape or incest or sexual assault, if, and there's the if those cases have been, what's the word I want to use here, provided they have been reported to law enforcement. So, you just can't say, I've been raped. You've got to go and report that to the police. And then that abortion would be legal. But other than those 3 cases, well, 4 if you include the mother's life, abortion is banned in the state of Oklahoma. Well, it will be when Governor Kevin Stitt, who's a very strong pro-lifer, signs it. And he's already said that he's going to sign it very quickly. So this will become law in the state of Oklahoma. God bless Oklahoma. The last item is coming from the Supreme Court. This morning at 10 o'clock, the court did not announce on the Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization decision. Every Monday at 10 o'clock, the court renders new cases, new rulings. And people were wondering, was this going to be the day, this Monday, this day? Because once the leaked draft opinion by Justice Alito was released and published, there was some conventional wisdom by some court analysts speculating that the court may feel under pressure to release the Dobbs decision sooner than later. So they speculated, well, it's been 2 weeks now, maybe the court is going to issue the ruling today on May 23rd. Well, 10 a.m. came and went, and there was no ruling. So maybe next week, maybe next Monday, the Supreme Court is going to rule on that Dobbs case. And we kind of already know how it's going to go. At least 5 of the 9 justices will vote to overturn Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood versus Casey and return the issue to the individual states to make their own abortion policies. Some states will ban abortions outright, and other states will permit abortions basically to the due date. So not the solution that I want or that most pro-lifers want, but at least it is a huge, huge step in the right direction. So with that, before I go, I do sound like a broken record, but remember, like I've said for the last many, many weeks, don't sign that petition if you are approached to sign that petition that would put on the Michigan ballot a law repealing our 1846 law and allowing abortion to be legal up to fetal viability, and it would outlaw every pro-life law we've enacted for the last 40 years. Don't sign that petition. So with that, I will see you next time. Goodbye.